I feel tired, but I don't want to give up lah.
Before enlistment, my view on army life was basically like in the movies. There's a lot of action, training.
I've transformed so much over the years.
Definitely, I do feel that there is more responsibility on me as a soldier to protect Singapore.
We face with different kind of people, different kind of characters. That helped me learn to control my emotions.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Hi, my name is Javis. I'm 20 years old this year.
Recruit Javis Goh within. That's what I'm going to be called for the next 116 days. It's the first phase of my 2-year national service journey where I'll learn the basics of combat and get my fitness up to par to defend our little red dot in times of war.
I'm in the PTP batch because I didn't take my IPPT because I wasn't confident that I was going to pass it. What I remember about the day of enlistment was saying goodbye to my parents and also getting to know my section and platoon mates.
Hello, my name is Haravin Shaun. I remember just leaving my parents about 10 minutes ago into a completely different land. My dad is a regular in the SAF, and before enlisting, he kind of felt that I would have a slight difficulty experiencing the transition from civilian to military life. He felt like he was giving me a challenge, and clearly I had to prove him wrong. I'm a bit scared of, what if I don't cope?
Hi, I'm Connor Francis Foster. My dad is from the UK, my mum is from Singapore. I never took an oath before, so it was a bit outside my comfort zone.
My name is Aniq. I think I'm a very quiet and reserved person.
I think my biggest concern is making friends. Looking around, I think I'm one of the oldest and they're all like 20 and below, 18, 19. So I'm scared that they can't really understand like my humor or I can't understand their humor.
Since young, I had a very negative attitude towards NS.
Part of me says that it's necessary, but the other part says that it's a waste of time.
This was kind of like a drag because for me personally, I would rather go to uni like my other schoolmates.
I even joke about changing my nationality just to not serve national service. But as the time comes, I told myself there's no point trying to escape from it. Just make the best of what's given to you lah.
My first impression when I see the company line was quite depressing. I think I just didn't want to be here.
I hate climbing stairs. When I first saw the steps, I felt a sense of dread because every day I would have to climb 3 flights of stairs every day back to my bunk.
My biggest fear is mainly because I'm a fussy eater coping with the food, as well as getting along with my bunkmates. I am a single child, so when I enlisted to NS, sharing a room with other people who I didn't know at the start was a bit nerve-wracking, like fear of people who you don't know might try to mess or touch your stuff, because these are people who I'm going to have to spend the next few months with.
My biggest fear would be the different physical aspects and conducts of national service because for starters, I sweat a lot. I hate sweating.
Connor, Haravin, Javis and I are in the PTP Physical Training Phase Batch, where we have an extra 8 weeks to serve on top of the 9 weeks of BMT, Basic Military Training. This is designed to help recruits who do not pass their Individual Physical Proficiency Test before enlistment improve their fitness. However, this does not necessarily mean that everyone here is unfit.
To be honest, I overslept for my previous IPPT. Then after that, I didn't have the motivation to do it again. So I just decided to go to PTP. I have like more time, like 4 months to get to know one another, to train more, get the physique that I want. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Since young, I've been an obese child. I do love food because my father is a chef, so a lot of good food at home. So it's just really eat all the way. I was 92 kg. From not exercising to exercising 2 times a day every single day. It was a very big culture shock and a really change in demand for my physical level. I've never passed IPPT once in my life before. So it's just really preparing myself for something that I've been trying to achieve since for a very long time.
Running and doing sit-ups, I was quite lacking in that sense because I felt it was much more draining on my body. But after doing PT, after these few weeks of PTP, I feel much more confident that I could do a longer duration of both. I mean, I feel better in the sense that I'm more physically fit doing BMT. However, doing the routine over and over again, it gets quite boring.
Before enlistment, I can only do 20 push-ups. For my first IPPT, I did 70. But for tomorrow, my goal is to get 100. I think 100 is just like a nice number to get. Like big and nice, 100. Yeah.
Today is our second IPPT. As PTP recruits, we have to go through 4 IPPTs in our 17 weeks here. We are tested on push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2.4 kilometers run. The more push-ups and sit-ups we can do in 1 minute, and the faster we run, the more points we will get. The aim is to get as many points as we can, so that we can pass or even get silver or gold.
For push-ups, I got 47, for sit-ups, I got 45, and for running, I got 11 minutes and 35 seconds. I know it's silver in terms of IPPT score. I feel I could have done better, especially for running and push-ups, but because for running, I nearly threw up at the end, but I just kept on going, and I still managed to catch up to Aniq. I wanted to beat Aniq because he got the running score of 11 minutes and 30 seconds, which I wanted for this IPPT.
I did 44 push-ups and about 34 sit-ups, and my running is on the dot at 13 minutes. Hopefully it's a pass.
I mean, I wanted to do 100, and then my friend say, Aniq, do not max up your push-ups so much because you have your running. I am very happy with my results. My push-up I did 61, my sit-up I did 47 or 48, my running was 11:30. I asked my sergeant and they said a high silver or a gold.
The IPPT is a bit of a sore spot for me now. I was quite close to passing, but I had maybe messed up on one station, and that ultimately led to me failing IPPT.
The station that challenged me the most was the push-up station. I am disappointed because today, I could only do 15 reps, but I think I could have done about 20 to 30. My goal at the end of BMT is to get a silver.
So welcome to our company line, or core line for short. Every company has a building of its own. It's made up of the recruit's bunk, commander office, storeroom, and the arm school where we draw our weapons. So over here is a vending machine which is restocked regularly alongside a snack vending machine. So this keeps our morale high and it just keeps us going during our admin times. So apart from the company line, we also spend most of our time either at the cookhouse, parade square, or the running track. And this is our home for the next 116 days.
This is the cookhouse. We have families here every day. The managers every day too. Sometimes we have nasi lemak, curry chicken, mutton curry. My personal favorite is nasi lemak. I think everyone looks forward to Tuesday because Tuesday is ice cream day. So everyone has ice cream. I want to eat my curry chicken. Then go.
bit anxious, nervous, excited, all at once.
Before coming to BMT, this basic train fire package was the activity I was looking most forward to. And now coming here to experience it feels like it's something new.
I could sleep last night, yeah, but I was just thinking about all the different possibilities and scenarios that could happen today. Like for example, let's say if I shoot halfway and the weapon jams up, or let's say I'm able to just get all my shots. Before I entered BMT, this was the activity that I was looking forward to most, and it has really exceeded my expectations. It's just a whole new experience lah, just being behind a weapon and hearing it fire right beside you for the first time. Compared to what you see in movies, is really different from when you hold one in real life and shoot it. It's about 2 minutes before I try my grenade and I'm feeling very excited. Until I stood into the bay with the grenade on my hand, I did feel a bit nervous. Ready grenade, safety ring twist, safety ring pull, safety pin out. Grenade prepared and ready to be thrown, Sergeant. Okay, throw grenade. Grenade!
I felt a bit nervous because of the fact that we're handling a live grenade with us. What if this don't go to plan? But I think after seeing we have other people can do it also, I believe in myself and I was able to do it. I felt quite a bit of an adrenaline rush, knowing that you're throwing some kind of a live grenade. Because a lot of people hype it up to be one of the best activities that you do in BMT. So definitely the feeling of accomplishment is there.
The short week that came after, it felt very real.
It was a bit surreal.
I felt excited.
Happy that I was able to experience it lah.
The thing I like most about BMT is the valuable admin time given after a long day in camp. Our bodies will be very fatigued and very tired. So naturally, after you go back to bunk, you want to rest. And this allows me to maybe text and call my loved ones and my friends that, I am not being able to see so often. So here is my bunk. There are 9 of us here. And this is where we rest after a long day of training. So today is actually Tuesday, and Tuesday is actually laundry day. So every morning we give our bedsheets down to the contractors, and then at night we take them back. So over here is actually my locker. And inside here, we have different compartments. So the top compartment is my army clothes, followed by my personal grooming items, followed by some army essentials that we have, given by the company. And lastly, we have my own personal items that I use for daily use. So actually we keep our phones in our lockers every day when we leave the bunk, and so it's to protect it. Because every day we have to lock our lockers as well. And the reason why I don't have any family photos is because I already have them ready on my phone.
I try my best to bring all my laundry home to wash over the weekends. But if really cannot, I will wash it in camp and then just hang it outside to dry. At home, I use the washing machine. It's definitely a new experience that I'm trying to get used to, hand washing.
If you don't know how to wash your clothes, then it's a big problem. You don't want to smell smelly throughout the day or throughout your whole week.
In 2 days, we are headed out of the company line and into the jungle for the highly anticipated, or perhaps to some, dreaded field camp. It will be the closest experience we'll have to being in the front line. We will spend 5 days and 4 nights out in the field where we'll practice tactical movements and learn the basics of life in the jungle. We'll have no phones, electricity, and worst of all, no showers.
We normally put our uniforms first flat on the ground, then followed by our admin uniform. Following that is our towel, sandals. So it's all stacked and laid, so you don't feel as much weight when you're actually carrying field bag. So then it's the fire sticks. Then at the very top would be our water bag.
I'm not looking forward to the mosquitoes. Insects also, like centipede, I'm also not looking forward to that.
I don't like to get dirty and living in the forest.
I've been looking for tips online on how to survive through field camp and keep myself clean, but so far I haven't found any yet.
One of the key tasks we have to perform as part of our field camp training is to dig a shell scrape from scratch. We need to dig a hole deep and wide enough to lie inside for protection from enemy fire.
I've been digging for 2 hours and 42 minutes and I feel really tired. I'm just mentally and physically drained from digging since the morning. I think I'm about 60% done. Yeah, a lot more to go. I really feel like giving up, but there's no choice. Just dig and get it done and over with.
I was digging my shell scrape, so when I was swinging down, I hit the back of my helmet. Yeah, I went to see the medical officer, got some ice on it, and then just go back to training. I'm feeling better now.
So there was a massive rock found in my shell scrape, so I have to dig around it in order to pick it up and put it on the side, so I can sleep in the shell scrape. If it doesn't happen, then I have to move my shell scrape digging in front, just off from scratch basically. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
I think I'm done. My sergeant said I'm done. Yeah. This is the thing that I look forward to most. I did it quite quick compared to the rest. I think this is the least tiring activity in field camp. Honestly, PT is more tiring.
What I'm currently eating now is some tomato chicken pasta. Honestly, this isn't too bad, but I prefer the pasta from yesterday, the sweet curry pasta. Outside of NS, I don't really like eating vegetables, but when I enlisted, I started to eat some more in the cookhouse. But honestly, these ones, like these vegetables, are much easier for me to eat because you can't really feel the textures. You just taste the flavors, which is fine. Yeah, I really like it.
Today is day 3 of field camp. I have not showered for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 3 days. 3 days, yeah. I've not showered for 3 days. I feel so disgusted. Yeah. I think I smell bad, but when I ask my other platoon mates, they say no. Yeah. I think we are all smelling, that's why. We all smell the same.
To me, the toughest part I think is having to push myself through, especially when you're dirty, sweaty, and under the hot sun.
I mean, for me, the hardest part of field camp was, not being able to shower.
I think mine will be going to the toilet.
Why, what's so hard about going to the toilet?
Number 2, bro.
Every day sweat so much. Then after that, the next day when you need to wear back that same uniform, then it's like very disgusting.
As much as you bring wet wipes, you bring soap sponges, you bring everything, you will not be able to shower, and you'll be too tired to shower also after a day. So I think the biggest thing is just getting used to it. Getting used to being dirty, getting used to touching all the wet stuff on the floor.
My friends say tough times don't last, tough people do.
I was quite surprised because I was unaware that we were getting letters, especially from home. My mum mostly wrote the letter, and she was just describing how I just need to carry on and just try my best.
I think one line that made me really emotional was my mom saying that she loves me and she's always thinking about me. I like to collect this thing called pop mart. I collect the Disney princess one. And I got, my favorite one was Moana. So I think they just put it inside. It makes you feel like home lah.
My mom wrote a very long letter. She talked about our favorite moments, watching F1 together, and like, while I'm home, there is a second driver, but now I'm gone, she's left to drive the whole family around. And they also attached childhood photos. So that took me by surprise lah. They are all just photos of me being a fat baby lah, a fat kid. That really made me tear up also, seeing how I've transformed so much over the years. I've told myself since day one that I'm here to improve my fitness. So I'm quite happy to see the progress I've done with myself. I think the line that made me feel very emotional was the 3 words lah, I miss you and I love you. So it's not something that my parents say often to me. It's not something that I oftenly say to them also.
I didn't expect the letter from my sister. I think that made me tear up the most initially, seeing her like, because she's quite young, 11. I think it's the fact that my sister mentions, to stay with me forever as we grow up. I don't tell my sister a lot that I love her. I do it in more of my actions. For her to say that, he hits hard, definitely. Growing up as a kid, I always wanted my father's validation, especially my father's also a regular here, so I wanted him to be proud of me. The first thing that he mentioned in the letter was that he was very proud of me. And I think that made me tear up, thinking about it.
It's 1 week before we graduate. Tonight, a party has been organised for us.
I've heard Recruits Night is basically like a rave party. I've heard that there was dancing, but for me personally, I'm not really a dancing person.
I think it'll be a good night for everyone to decompress and de-stress after a long stay in BMT. I'm also curious to see who will go up and start dancing.
I think I heard there's gonna be a lot of dancing, but I'm not gonna dance at all.
We completed the first part of our famous 24 kilometers route march in Pulau Tekong this morning. Now, it's time for the night march. We will be carrying our full battle order, which weighs around 20 kg. The estimated time to complete this graduation march is around 5 hours.
I'm not a big fan of carrying a heavy load on my back walking 16 km. Just tell myself, POP is coming, just do it and you're done.
A bit excited, but also a bit worried, because 16 kilometers is the longest we've ever route marched before.
I think biggest sense for me ahead would be feeling sleepy. Yeah, because I think we're doing it at night and then it's gonna be a very long.
I'm going to fight the Z monster by not giving up and giving it my all throughout this 16 km. Yeah, I can do it! So currently we're at the halfway mark. We have been walking for about 2 hours and we're currently on our 30-minute break right now.
I did feel like giving up every once in a while because it's just tiring on my shoulders lah.
The hardest so far was in the last few 200 meters, because that's when I felt my feet were like really aching.
I just been making myself busy by talking. Yeah, I think if I keep quiet, I will feel more shake. My right shoulder is the one that's aching.
My heels are the one that are aching the most.
My game plan for the next 8 km is to just think about the finish line and what I'm gonna do once I'm back in the bunk. Yes, I can. We fear nothing. Jaguar!
Everybody in the platoon called me the Rock, I think because I'm big and bulk. When I see my friends cheer me on, it motivates me to do better lah. At the end of BMT, I don't expect myself to have that many friends lah. We all came together, just be there for one another whenever we are going through something. That's what I really appreciate about each one and every one of them.
My most significant change has got to be my fitness level. Before NS, I didn't exercise for years and it transitioned into having 2 physical training conducts every day. I've seen growth in myself and how much slimmer I've got as compared to before I enlisted.
I thought of the challenge that my dad gave me often during BMT, especially during tough times, to motivate me. When I failed my first 3 IPPTs, I felt a bit demoralized. Before I took my final IPPT, my dad was giving me some tips that he knew from his time doing IPPTs over the years, and I just felt very reassured because I knew that he would be in my corner and to support me even if I failed.
I did not expect myself to enjoy BMT. Once I got to know my bunkmates, I managed to become quite good friends with most of them. Cleanliness, like maintaining cleanliness around the bunk, they helped me feel quite comfortable. I would hope so, yes, that I keep those friendships for long. I lost, bro. I lost.
When I saw the endpoint, I said to myself, just run all the way to the endpoint.
Out of 10, I'll say 8. Very tight. Yeah, very tight.
I feel very proud of myself for not giving up, even though there were times that I wanted to fall out.
But then I just kept going and pushing until I could see like the Kallang Stadium. Then I just pushed myself to the end.
I'm so excited about finishing this and finally get to POP. POP though! I'm sad because it's over, but happy because I can't wait to see what's next for me. When I started NS, I was really negative about serving NS lah. As of now, my view has changed and definitely I do see the brighter side of things lah.
Very proud of him and I'm also very supportive if he wants to pursue in the army. More responsible, disciplined and attentive towards me and also the SEA Games.
If I could turn back time, I would not change anything. Yeah, I think it's worth the extra weeks. More training, fitter,
make more friends. I think he has grown up watching me. He wants to stand on his own, not on my shoulders, and that's something that I'm proud of. I can see the maturity and him growing.
One thing I learned about myself during this NS journey is that I can do more than what I think I can do. I think in some aspects, I definitely enjoyed BMT, I enjoyed the training and the rewards he gave me.
This boy is allergic to vegetables and fruits, but now he eats everything when he comes home. I think he has matured, become a much more responsible boy. Yeah, and always hugging us nowadays.
The one thing that I'll take home from BMT is being organized and being disciplined. I don't think PTP is for everybody, but I think it's something everybody needs.
Glenn is done!
Okay.
Can I say one more thing to the camera?
Yes.
Like for the audience, Okay. Since you're here for 2 years, might as well just make the best out of it. Who knows, you might like it. And remember, tough times don't last, tough people do.